Okay, upon distilling all these notes,
Distilling, that's...
I've got C sharp, I've got an E natural, and a G sharp. Out of everything that you see, that's what you get, right? The root of that here are my notes. Why did I arrange them in this order, Patrick? Why did I arrange them in this order and not in some other arrangement? True, but why can't I put G sharp at the bottom and then just go through? No? Why did I order these letters the way that I did? Nate? Sorry again? Say again? Root position? That's part of it. Yeah, that's part of it. Very specifically though. Okay, we're getting closer. You guys are kind of talking about the same thing. This is like a root position chord. Yes, there are thirds.
I was going to say that the letters are threes, they're thirds and are...
Yeah, so you're all saying the right things.
Okay.
C to E, C of any kind to E of any kind is a skip, right? A third. As is E to G of any kind, right? That's why I positioned them in this specific order. Skip, skip. When you do that, Nate, you have a root position chord, which is what you mentioned, right? And then yeah, you can then go to the qualities that Peter was trying to get to. Okay? So by doing this, by putting it in a root position, Richard, I can say that the bottom note is what note of the triad? I arranged this specifically to give me information. By putting this into thirds or in skips, the bottom note is called now what? Well, I'm not sure about the tonic. It depends on the key. The root, exactly. Therefore, if the bottom note's the root, the middle note's the third, and the top note is the fifth. Okay, so that answers my question on the second line. The root is C sharp. The type of chord is the quality of the chord. The quality of the chord. Nate.
Minor.
Now, if you didn't have a keyboard, Nate, how would you work that out?
Use your keyboard.
Yes, use your keyboard, count the semitones between C sharp and E, and you will get what, Neil?
Minor third.
You'll get a minor third, and then from E to G sharp, you'll get a major third. Minor third with a major third above that is a minor triad.
It's a minor chord.
Yep. So put in minor for type. Put a minor for type. For position, we're just doing root position, so put in root. And I told you that the key is E major. If the key is E major, and this triad, whose root is C sharp, what is the degree, the scale degree that this chord is built on in the key of E major? So I start off with E as the tonic, right? That's scale degree 1. And then I work up to C sharp. What number is that? Samuel? So if E is number 1 of the scale, C sharp is what scale degree in that scale? C sharp. Six. Right. So this chord is built on the 6th scale degree. That's the 6th scale degree. Oh, it's a tongue twister. The 6th scale degree of E major. Okay, so that's what you put down for degree. All right, the next one, letter F. Letter F. Yeah, we'll do it in a moment. This is not the greatest quality of keyboard, guys, but here it is again. All right, let's say let's say that this is, let's say this is in F major. Let's say this is in F major. Okay, so put down the key of F. Put down the key of F. There's a whole bunch of notes in there, some of which actually don't even belong in the triad. If I write down all of these letters to myself, you'll notice that there are some notes that might give us a little pause for consideration. So in the left hand, I've got a G, I've got a D, I've got a B flat. Then I've just got repetitions of those notes. In the right hand, I've got a D, got it. I've got a C, don't have that one. 2 B flats, an A, and some Gs. Yeah. Okay, so we're only dealing with root position triads. If I have 5 individual notes, then it goes without saying that maybe some of these notes don't belong. All right? So there's a lot more of these, a lot more of these, and a lot more of these, which I hope that you can see if I rearrange them into skips up here like that, right? G, B flat, D. And that's kind of the sound quality that we were hearing. Right? What's the function of these guys? Other than making it a little bit more difficult to kind of distill what's going on. What's their purpose, Ben?
What?
Pardon?
I'm confused. I've been asking questions. What are you asking me?
I'm asking what the purpose of those extra notes that I'm suggesting may not belong in our
If you
triad.
think about it, C and B flat won't sound very nice. A and G won't sound very nice.
Yep.
But D and A might sound very nice. And D and C they don't. Anyway, but they might add maybe like some mysterious, vibe.
A mysterious
I have
fact.
no idea.
Oh, sure.
I have
Yeah.
no idea what.
Well, it's like with anything. If you have a G triad, right? Then there are clearly notes in between that you could potentially use if you're writing a melody. Right? So you fill in a melody with notes that don't necessarily belong with the chord, right? Makes it more interesting to listen to other than just listening to just the notes of the triad, right? Yeah, Julie.
Oh, I have a couple questions for you to ask.
Yo.
So bad. You should have tried harder.
Okay, so the root. The root is over here. It's a G. The type. Sounds very sad. It is minor. The position, root position again. And if you see this chord in our song that is in F major, the chord is built on which scale degree, JD?
It would be on
So looking at the root here is the key to the answer. What did you put down for the root?
Let's see what
The root's G of the chord, absolutely. And so what scale degree is G in our key of F major? Exactly. So that's the scale degree that we're looking for. Scale degree 2. All right. Back up to the top for letter D.
Wait, so what is the type and position?
So the type was minor, and the position is root position. We'll do in root position. We'll do inversions on Thursday. Okay, back up to D. Back up to D. Back up to D. Lots of flats here. We are in B flat minor. Put down B flat minor, please. B flat minor. And we have this kind of sound. Kind of on its own, it's not obvious that we are in a minor key, is it? But it's actually a really good characteristic to listen to. Jordan and Patrick, you paying attention? Okay. All right. If I put all these guys together, well, there's only 3 individual notes that are around, right? There's an F, there's C's, and there's A naturals. If I order those all into skips, then hopefully you get something like this. By putting it into root position, by putting it into skips, I can now identify what the root is, right? Because sometimes the root is not necessarily the note that you see at the bottom when you're looking at a piece of music, right? That'll be more obvious when we cover inversions. Okay, so the root is F. The quality sounded very happy, didn't it? It's major. Okay, just out of curiosity before we do the next two, why is there an A natural? Richard, why is there an A natural in this little? Say again? Yep, absolutely, very good. So this is a dominant chord. This is a dominant chord in B flat major. Dominant chords, almost all the time, like 99% of the time, are a major sound. Dominants are always going to have a major sound in a minor key. In order to do that, you have to raise Richard, you have to raise the 7th of the scale, which in B flat minor is A, or another way to think about it is you just have to make sure that in your dominant chord that the middle note is raised. Right? So it's the same thing, right? So either you're thinking raise the 7th, or you're thinking just make sure that my middle note of my root position chord is raised as well, right? So based on the key signature, I gotta add a natural. Okay, so the type was major, the position is root, and I already kind of gave you the answer for degree, right? A dominant is which scale degree?
Same. It's dominant.
Cinque. 5.
Hey, that's a town.
Okay. I think I'm going to skip. I think I'm going to skip over page 167 for now. I don't think we need to practice any more root position chords. Okay. I do want to talk a little bit about open and close position chords. Open and close position. Open and close position is, well, it's labeled close and open position. So please notice there's a little table there, close and open position.
Excuse me for the interruption.
Hi.
Is Aiden on the floor with you?
Yes?
Could you send him down ready to go home? Have him come down to the office, please.
Sure, thank you.
Yep.
Letting it be, I don't know.
Peter? 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 Aiden? Get ready, please. All right, so close and open position chords. Close are really easy. If you're in root position, it's simply notes of a chord that are the closest to one another. Notes of a chord that are the closest to one another. So on a piano, if I want to hear a C chord, then C, E, G are the closest notes to each other available for that sound. If you spread things out, if you start spreading things out, like on the very first example where you have this middle C, then a G, which is a fifth above, and then the E, which is a sixth above the G, it's still a C chord in root position, but the notes are spread out over a larger range. Guys, I need a few more minutes of your attention. I need a few more minutes of your attention, please. So the very first example there, C, G, E, that is an example of open, as is the next one, C, that's just down the octave, or something far more spread out, right? So you may see the notes of a chord very close to one another, or you may see them spread out over a larger range. Give me a practical example of where you might see one or the other in music that you've either performed or seen. Arpeggios? Okay, so what is that more of a what is that more of an example of? Yeah, if you look at like all of them all together, for sure. What if you hear all the sounds at the same time?
Teachers, pardon this interruption. Just an important announcement. In honor of St. Patrick's Day tomorrow, 17th March 2021, all students and staff are invited to wear a green t-shirt with uniform bottoms. If you are not wearing green, you should be in full uniform. So you can wear a green shirt, but the pants have to be of the proper uniform. Of course, you have to wear your mask in school. Grade 8 students, please remember that we have a picture day tomorrow. Grade 8 students. Okay, thank you.
All right, guys, one more minute, and then you can pack up, okay? So I asked, where are you more likely to see open or closed position chords in music? Is that a stretch? Is that a stretch?
How do you mean by open?
Open is notes spread out over a large range,
Oh,
like that.
oh, maybe like an inversion, maybe. Maybe an inversion.
Yeah, you can definitely see inversions in an open shape. What I was hoping that maybe you would click a little bit is when you're playing a lot of piano music, because your hands are only so big, chances are you play many more chords in closed position than you do in open position, right? Because your hands can only spread out so much. But think about when you sing in choir. The basses can sing very low, and the sopranos can sing very high. So the range all of a sudden is extended dramatically, right? So in choral music, you will see more often only 3 notes that are being sung, but spread out over a very large range, right? All right, feel free to pack up, guys.
Do you have any homework?
Thank you for your attention. See you Thursday. No homework.
Let's join. Bye, Pablo. Bye, Jamie.
Bye, Martin. Miss you, Martin.
Bye, Martin.
Bye, Martin.